Okay, the leaf thing was cold, I'll admit it. But where are we actually going, BBB? The city is massive. Time is frozen back home. We need a GPS.
We don't need a GPS, Neri. We have the compass. BBB looked down at his chest. Stitched perfectly onto the yellow fabric of his robe was a six-pointed star interwoven with red, green, and black. It wasn't just a symbol, it was a cosmic lock. As the white smoke from his sage stick drifted over the star, the emblem began to hum. The green triangle pulsed once. The red triangle pulsed twice. Beep, beep, beep. A holographic projection shot out from the star, displaying a floating three-dimensional map of the glitched city. A single set of coordinates appeared in glowing text. Sector 7, the Grand Archive of the Forgotten Sound. "That's where they're keeping it," the old noodle stand turtle said, packing up his bowls. "The architects stow the original beat, the rhythm that keeps humanity's intuition alive. That's why your coworkers back in your world were acting like mindless zombies. Without the beat, people just follow orders." BBB adjusted his shades, pushing them back up to cover his intense eyes. He took the golden key he got from the vending machine earlier and spun it on his finger. "Then I guess it's time to change the tune," BBB said, stepping out of the noodle stand and into the neon-lit alleyways.
Sector 7, peeps. Grab your snacks. The Bad Bwoy Bunny is on the move, and he is looking tremendously fresh. Part 9. The Weight of Midnight Silk. The alleyways of Sector 7 dissolved into a grand open atrium. The air here was different. It carried the scent of ozone and old paper, heavy and still. The temperature just dropped. The neon is fading. Someone is here. Bunny stopped. He did not reach for his fractal leaf. He simply lowered his head, feeling the shift in the atmospheric pressure. The sound of purposeful, slow steps echoed across the polished obsidian floor. Each footfall was deliberate, a masterclass in grounded elegance. She emerged from the shadows. She possessed a stunning quality that defied conventional symmetry or expected beauty. It was an undeniable, quiet power. She wore a garment of raw, midnight indigo silk. The heavy weight of the fabric draped flawlessly, absorbing the ambient light rather than reflecting it. A single cold-forged silver bangle rested at her wrist, its matte gleam offering the only contrast to the deep, rich colors of her attire. She did not wear trends, she wore timelessness. She stopped 3 paces from him. The space between them immediately turned into a magnetic field, thick and charged. "Bunny knee," she said. Her voice was soft, low, and raspy. It carried the texture of crushed velvet. It was the exact voice from his damp vest dreams, the frequency that shattered the frozen matrix of his previous life. Part 10. The Architecture of Silence. BBB slowly pushed his rectangular shades down the bridge of his snout. The intense, red-mapped whites of his eyes softened around the calm green centers as he looked at her. They did not speak. The gaze they shared was an entire language. It held thousands of words, heavy with shared history, silent sacrifices, and an extremely strong magnetic pull that threatened to close the 3 paces between them. Yet neither moved.
The silence is deafening. You can feel the gravity pulling them together, but they stay anchored. Why? Fear? A complex web of trust that is too fragile, or perhaps too powerful to test?
She broke the gaze first, looking toward the towering brass doors of the archive. A soft, genuine laugh escaped her lips.
It was a rich, melodic sound that instantly melted the hardened edges of BBB's aura. He felt the vibration of that laugh in his chest. To maintain his composure, he raised the sage stick to his lips, taking a slow, measured draw. The white smoke curled around his white handband, masking the slight softening of his jaw. "You found the key, Mystery," she murmured, her raspy tone cutting through the smoke. "The lock requires more than just metal. It requires alignment." BBB stepped forward, moving into her gravitational pull. The scent of sandalwood and rain followed her. "Why did you leave the grid?" BBB asked, his bass-heavy voice barely above a whisper. "To ensure you would wake up," she replied. She reached out, her fingertips hovering just a millimeter above the six-pointed star stitched onto his chest. She never made physical contact, but the heat of her hand caused the red and green threads of the emblem to pulse with a deep, rhythmic glow. Wisdom drop. True connection does not require touch, it requires resonance. Fear and worry only exist when we try to own a frequency rather than simply listening to it. She lowered her hand. The cold metal of her silver bangle caught the dim light. "The architects have guarded the original beat behind these doors," she said, nodding toward the entrance. The doors were a masterpiece of brutalist luxury, cast in solid, unpolished brass that showed the beautiful, dark patina of age. "Your leaf will not open it. Your key will only turn the tumblers. You must provide the rhythm." She took a slow step backward, her indigo silk sweeping soundlessly over the obsidian floor. The distance between them grew, the magnetic energy stretching, vibrating, but never snapping. "Will you be here when it opens?" BBB asked. She offered that genuine, melting smile once more, her features shadowed by the brim of the archive's arches. "I am the echo, Bunny. I am always here." She turned and dissolved into the ambient shadows, leaving nothing but the weight of her presence and the lingering scent of rain. BBB stood alone before the towering brass doors. He adjusted his shades, the green slits of his eyes locking onto the keyhole. "We have a door to open, B. Let us show them the true meaning of rhythm."